This is the Phantom plugin for Adobe Premiere to help modern creators edit quicker. You can think of this as your Swiss Army knife of editing. It has AI functionality and several time-saving features that will hopefully cut your time spent on your project file. Make sure you join our Discord if there are features that you would like to add, or just subscribe to us in general. In this demo, we are going to go through some of the tools that comes with the Phantom plugin. I have my plugin set up already. If I go to the side on the toolbar, we're gonna click on double copy and paste. This is the first tool that we have. For some reason in Adobe Premiere, you can't copy and paste stuff from your clipboard. This tool helps solve that problem. For example, we can go to Google. I really want a picture of a bacon in my video. So I can go to the image, right click, copy image, go back to Premiere. In this case, I want the image added to my sequence when it's pasted. Double check that my settings are saved. And the way that I've set this up is that it's going to create a new bin to have all my screenshots in, called copy and paste. I'm gonna close this and paste. And there we go. As you can see, we have a picture of a bacon in my video, and also in the bin, we have the clipboard image. I'm just gonna remove that for now. Going back to the sidebar in the Phantom plugin, we also have a silence remover. I understand that Premiere already has a tool like this. However, this is slightly more intuitive. Let me close the sidebar for now. For example, I can set the silence threshold, the minimum silence length I do want to keep. Also, the more intuitive part is that I can set the front and back padding, which means I can set the buffer zone of when the silence ends. This is great if a person trails the words really long. This fixes the problem of that. So I'm going to adjust the back padding to something like maybe 0.25. And in this tool, you can choose how you want your sequence to be cut. You're gonna go to silence method, we can delete the silence, or we can disable the silence. At the same time, you can apply the cuts to only the video or the audio, or of course, both video and audio. I'm not sure why you would want to cut your video only, but you have the choice to do that if you want to. In this case, I'm gonna cut both video and audio, and I'm gonna choose delete silence. To use this tool, we're gonna go to analyze audio first, and it's going to give me a waveform of how the cuts will currently look and the amount of cuts there are. And if you don't like the settings that you have, make sure you change it and analyze the audio again. This is perfectly fine for what I would like. So I'm gonna click on this, which would create a backup sequence and perform the cuts. There we go. Hopefully we can play a little bit of how it looks like of all the silences being cut. Premiere. We're gonna first add folder to monitor. I have two different, I'm gonna upload the footage to footage. I'm gonna add my footage panel. I'm gonna add my, as you can see, I do a lot of retakes, but there's a way to fix that in the editor tools. Going back to our sidebar, we're gonna go to the Casper folder manager. This tool, I already have a demo on it, but this tool helps auto sync your file directly with Premiere, such that when you add a new file in your desktop folder, it automatically imports into your project manager. For example, I'm gonna click on add folder to monitor. In the footage folder, I have different files and subbins, which I can also accommodate for that. I'm gonna click on open on the footage folder, and let's also add my music as well, for the heck of it. In this case, I wanna combine all my files into one bin, and let's create a new bin called hello testing. Great. I can also auto import files so that when a new file shows up in your folder, it automatically imports it. However, it is slightly more slower. A more robust method is actually using the import button to update those files. Let's create the files first. Okay, it's done. I'm going to go back to my project, and I'm going to find the file for hello testing, and there is all of the files that I have. Now let's download a new file to see how it works. Let's say I have this video. Let's download it, and free download, yay. And I'm just gonna download it into my footage folder, save, and it should be good. Now I'm gonna go back to Premiere, and we can see that we see the new file in the folder. What I can do, I can auto import, but in this case, I'm just gonna import, press it once, and there it is. If I do press it multiple times, it doesn't work because all the files are already imported. And again, if you have new files, it could be seen in here. I have a more comprehensive video on this, and this could be bought as a standalone tool, but if you had the Phantom plugin, this does come with the Casper folder manager. Going back to the sidebar to our next tool, we had the Wraith multicam editor. Let's close this. So this is a multicam podcasting tool. We also have a video on this already, but if you have a multicam sequence or a video podcast sequence, this does help edit the entire video sequence with a click of a button. I'm just going to go to my project manager and I'm going to choose my already made multicam sequence where I have 3 videos. Let me zoom in first. So I have 1 video camera per person. On the top, I have a room camera. I have the guest camera on the second track, and I have a host camera on the first track. On the left-hand side, I have my settings set up already where I have speaker 1, speaker 2, and the assigned camera tracks. You can have 8 different camera tracks on this. So if you have a very large multicam sequence, this does save a lot of time helping to create that multicam sequence. At the bottom here, we have the editing controls, so you can set the durations of how long you want certain cameras to be. For example, the minimum camera duration or the max camera duration as well. In this example, we are just going to disable. Let me click create multicam sequence and see what happens. Great, the sequence has complete. Let's see a quick sample of how it looks like. I'm just gonna go here. Let's find a pretty good part.
I'm like super high on this. And I'm not like
it's probably not a great part. Let's try somewhere else.
The installation process, then doing the in-services when they actually went live, so teaching the surgeons and nursing staff how to use them. But to be honest with you, Luke, it feels like another lifetime ago.
Yeah.
I'm very blessed that I had that opportunity in that.
Thinking, ooh, maybe it was some cutting edge biohacking. Let's just, we could cover in greater detail later because I want to pick apart some of the ingredients in Mana. And normally if someone has a...
So there you go. This tool is non-destructive. So for example, if you don't like the camera, the angle that you are on, you can always change it in the sequence. This tool doesn't do 100% of the work for you. However, it does get you that 90% point. Going back to the Phantom plugin on the sidebar, the next tool is the Sharon video downloader. You can download both video files and audio files, and you can download it from YouTube, Vimeo, Instagram, TikTok. Just make sure you are not geo restricted. Let's go to YouTube and see what videos we can download. I like Mr. Beast and I already had this video set up. I'm gonna go on the URL, copy, go back to Premiere and paste the URL, and I'm going to download it. At the time being, it does take a little while to get the video information, but what's great about this tool is that you can queue up videos along with the video currently downloading. So I can go back, and if I really want, I can click on this again and have another video set up, and it'll download that video once it is done. Let me remove this first, and we'll wait for this video to finish. I just realized that this video is 40 minutes, so let's see how long it takes. Great, it's done downloading, and I have it saved in my project file. Just to make sure that it works, we're gonna double click on it and play it.
To officially meet him. Nice to meet you.
Great, so this is a great tool where you can download videos directly into Premiere, and hopefully this tool will help save you time downloading the media assets that you need in your video to make it how you want it to look. Now going back to our plugin again, the next feature on the same line of media assets is the B-roll and stock media. In here, we have different providers for stock media where you can download directly into Premiere again. Again, the whole goal is for you to save time, get the creative assets that you need, and make the video how you want it to be. First thing I'm gonna do is go on the save settings. I'm gonna create a new bin for this. And let's say this is gonna be called B-roll version 2. Great, I already have a piece of bacon that I already got from using Doppel. So along the same theme, let's look for a pig. So now we have some images of pigs. Maybe I want a video. Let's see that instead. And let's click on this one and see what we have. We have a nice video of a pig. I like this, so I'm going to choose the HD quality right here and download it. And there we go. We have it in my B-roll V2 folder of a pig. We can see the editor providers that we have. We have Jiffy as well. Let's see what we got. Great, we have a couple of nice GIFs. Again, this is Jiffy, so it's going to only play a little bit on the sample. However, when you do download it, it does loop the footage automatically. So let's see that. Great, let's look at the GIF that we have. And it does loop. Now I'm gonna close a tab. And we can also look for stickers. And what's really great about this tool when you download stickers is that it keeps the transparency in your video. So let's go over here. We have a pig that looks like this. And in order to download with transparency, we had to click on this button. And let's check on the sticker. And there we go. Let's put the sticker onto my video. And it's pretty small, so let's make it a little bit bigger. And there we go. We have a sticker with transparency. We also have different providers like Pixabay and Unsplash as well. We will be adding more providers in the futures, but these are 4 solid ones that we really like so far. And if there is a particular one that you like, make sure you guys let us know in Discord so we can add them in here as well. Going back to the sidebar, it's my favorite tool is the AI Remove Retakes. This is a great tool to help cut down your footage to only keep the best takes. This tool works best for talking head videos. And if you have a person like me who makes constant mistakes, this tool does cut down your editing time by a lot. So for this example, let me go back to my project manager and I'm going to select one of the sequences I'm going to work with. Let me delete this one first. I believe this is the sequence that we are working on with. And from the silence remover test, you can see that I stutter a lot and make a lot of mistakes. Now I'm just going to go back to my active sequence and click on this, create rough cut analysis. This is going to export the audio first as always, and then it's going to run the AI analysis in the background to see which cuts to keep. There is an estimated amount of time, so we're gonna jump back in once this is done. Great, our AI analysis has been completed. If we go to our sequence, you can see that no cuts have been made. This is absolutely correct because we can make the adjustments of what we want to keep in our transcription window. We can go to the play button right here and play a sample of how it sounds like.
This is a Casper folder manager. In order to start seeing.
All right, that's not too bad. Let's go to different sections. And as I scroll down, you can see how many takes I did. And thankfully, I have AI to remove a lot of the bad takes. We can play this sample at this section.
I'm gonna add my footage folder.
That's perfectly fine. But for this purpose, for example, if I don't like this section, I can remove it or I can add it back with a press of a button. Let's play this section.
For it to monitor.
Maybe I don't like this first sentence right here. What I can do, I can split the container by clicking on the word, Shift Control K, split it up, and remove this section. Now let's play this sample back here.
So when any changes comes up, we can see the changes in Adobe Premiere.
Perfect. Let's zoom in a little bit quicker. Maybe I don't like the word Adobe Premiere. I can also adjust the accuracy of the containers because AI is never really perfect, but you have the ability to make the accuracy a lot more better. I'm gonna click on here, which will allow me to adjust the accuracy of the in and out points. So all I have to do is click on it, choose the out point, make it a little bit closer. And let's say I want to cut this entire section. And there we go. It's going to update the containers with how it's going to look like now. And let's play back.
So when any changes comes up, we can see the changes in Adobe Premiere.
Great, and of course I do want to keep the word Adobe Premiere in here, so I'm going to click on that. If there's a take where there's a long silence region that we want to keep in, we can also keep that in by pressing on the container. Perfect. Let's keep that in for now, just for this test purpose. Now you might be wondering, how do we make the cuts? All the way down here, there are 4 different options on how you want to do this. If you click on the green check mark, it's going to apply the frame cuts and delete all the bad takes. In this button, only apply the frame cuts and disable the clips. Here, you can just apply the frame cuts by itself. In this button, it will remove all the clips that are disabled. But in this test, we're gonna create the whole rough cut with a click of a button first. Let's see what happens. Great, it's completed. Let's see how it looks. Let's start from here because I know the first take is fine.
We're gonna first add folder to monitor. I'm gonna add my footage folder, so when any changes comes up, we can see the changes in Adobe Premiere.
And this is the long silence that we have kept. Let's delete it for now.
This folder does have a couple of subbins. We have the B-roll footage, we have jiffies, and in there we have several different files. Let me add this first. As you can see, we have only...
Great, so far it does look pretty good. Again, it is not perfect, but you have the ability to make changes to how you want this to be. Going back to our sidebar, we are going to go to our last tool, which is the AI chapter and marker. In this tool, you can create a summary for your YouTube channel and you can create markers for your sequence. This is absolutely great if you have a very long video, such as a podcast. Going back to the podcast sequence we were working on, we can create the same analysis by clicking on the button, create AI chapter analysis. And as you can already see, we have already done that, where it created the YouTube summary and the markers where we can add it to the sequence. For each marker, we can of course change it to how we want it to look like. For example, we can say this is intro and welcoming the guest. We want that to change the timing if it is incorrect. Also delete and also add more chapters if we want to do that in here. Going back to the top, copy the YouTube summary from this button and let's add it to a blank new page. And paste, there we go. And also we can do the same thing for our chapters by clicking on this button and I can copy and paste it to my YouTube, or in this case, Notion. What we can also do is add each marker on the sequence individually, like so. Notice how we have added the marker on the sequence, or we can add it all together on our timeline by pressing this button. And if for any reason we want to reset it, change anything that we don't like, we can remove all the markers as well. Now, you might have noticed some other features that we are working on, but we're going to keep that a secret for now. Make sure you guys are subscribed, following all our channels. And again, if you want to add a certain feature, make sure you join our Discord to let us know, or just send us an email as well. See you guys next time.